Good morning, everyone. My name is Lauren. I'm here live in the Essex kitchen inside the historic Essex Market on the Lower East Side. And you're joining us this morning for our snack and story time in partnership with the New York Public Library and the Seward Park Library branch, which is just down the street from us here at Essex. I'm so excited to have you, and I'm really thrilled to be working with one of my favorite people, Andrew Fairweather. He's a senior librarian over at Seward Park, and he's going to be reading a really exciting and fun story for us today. And after Andrew reads our story, we're going to come back to the kitchen, and I'm going to make a really delicious but easy banana pudding for all of us to have together. So with that, I want to say good morning to Andrew and pass it over to him so he can start our story time.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Lauren, for the introduction. So today, we'll be reading a story called Wild Boars Cook. And here are our wild boars here. They seem like they've made a mess. Do you know boars to be messy or clean? Let's find out. This is Boris. This is Morris. This is Horace. This is Doris. They are wild boars. They are bossy and selfish and stinky and hungry. Oh, wow. Eating from the trash. Boris is so hungry, he could eat 35 hot dogs and a bushel of bonbons. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Bad Boris. Morris is so hungry, he could eat a pineapple upside-down cake, 10 pickles, and a boot. Munch, munch, munch. Naughty Morris. Horace is so hungry, he could eat a pizza as big as the moon. Yum, yum, yum. Horrid Horace. Oh, look at that. It's a crescent moon. How interesting. Doris is so hungry, she is eating a cookbook. Have you ever tried that? I wouldn't recommend it. But wait! Doris has found a delicious recipe. A recipe for the biggest, messiest, stickiest, gooeyest, chewiest, and most delicious pudding in the whole wide world. Watch out, everybody. Wild boars are making a massive pudding. First, they measure out the ingredients. 10 cups of sugar, shouts Morris. 500 chocolate-covered chocolates, roars Boris. A gross of donuts, squeals Horace. And lots of broccoli, shrieks Doris. Wait a minute. Everyone stops and stares. Broccoli? In a massive pudding? Sorry, said Doris. Almost all the ingredients went to the massive pudding. Have you ever had a broccoli pudding? I certainly haven't. Doesn't sound very good. It's too dry, sobbed Boris. It's too small, wailed Morris. I'm hungry, howled Horace. So Doris added 1.5 puddles, a bucket of squishy butter, 26 bananas, and a squid. A squid? Then they started to whisk briskly. All the boars joined in. Whisk, 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 stir, 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 cook, cook, cook. And out came the most beautiful, massive pudding in the whole wide world. Now, do you think Boris and Morris and Horace and Doris sat with their hands folded and their napkins in their laps? Did they pass the biggest piece to the wild boar on their left? Did they say thank you and chew with their mouths closed? Well, I ask because you and I would do this because we're very, very polite. Of course not! Not these boars. They gulped and grabbed and smashed and snatched and pushed and prodded and choked and chewed. And they ate that massive pudding in 10 seconds flat. Imagine that! Delightful, moaned Boris. Delicious, groaned Morris. Divine, burped Horace. It was my idea, said Doris. And they lived happily ever after for 5 whole minutes. Until... I'm still hungry, cried Boris. I'm still starving, wept Morris. Everyone got more than me, howled Horace. Never mind, said Doris. I think I've found another recipe. Look at that. One massive cookie. Makes one. I'm sure they had a great time making that massive cookie, but we're gonna keep focusing on banana pudding, aren't we, Lauren?
Yeah, we sure are, Andrew. Wow, those boars made quite the production, didn't they? So they worked really hard to make a pudding that was perfect for them, and now we're gonna do the same for us. And so funny because our pudding also is gonna have bananas, but no squid in ours, I promise. So we're gonna be making a very easy and super delicious banana cream pudding. And I'm gonna show you every step of the way so that you can enjoy it today. So the first thing we're gonna start with is a packet of some instant vanilla pudding. So anything that you can find in your store. I bought all my ingredients here at Essex Market. We have 30 different businesses here at the market and a couple different groceries to choose from. So I have my packet of vanilla pudding mix. This is instant mix. And now I have 2 cups of cold milk. I'm gonna pour my milk right on top of that pudding mix. Yum, yum, yum. I can already smell the sweetness of the pudding. It's so tasty. This is regular milk, but you could use all kinds of milk or even non-dairy milk at home. And then I have this crazy contraption. Has anyone seen this before? You might have this at home. This is called an electric mixer, but we could also mix this by hand. We would just have to use a lot of force. We could use those Boars' help. But I'm gonna start with my electric mixer here. All right, so I would essentially mix this for 2 whole minutes, but I'm not gonna make you listen to 2 minutes of me mixing up here. So we're gonna go to our special magic side, and I already have some pudding that has been mixed, and then it just sat out for 5 minutes. So this is our delicious, thick vanilla pudding. This is gonna be part of our base. So to add to this pudding, I whipped up 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. So you mix that up with the same mixer and it's ready to go. And what I'm gonna do now is pour that whipped cream. This is just like the whipped cream we might have on an ice cream sundae or have on top of a cake. We're gonna get that cream into our pudding, and then we're gonna carefully mix it all together. And it's gonna be this really pretty mixture of the yellow from our pudding and the white from our whipped cream. This is gonna be the creamiest, most delicious banana-y pudding you've ever had. Very refreshing on a hot summer day like today. I wonder how the boars would feel, and it's so hot outside. So once my pudding is all carefully mixed together, we're actually just about ready to start assembling our pudding cups. I'm gonna talk about 2 other ingredients that are gonna go into our pudding. So one of those ingredients is just right here next to me. These are some wafer cookies. They're actually mini wafer cookies because I'm gonna be making individual puddings for us. So any kind of little cookie. And then of course, our bananas. We need about 6 bananas for this whole thing. So once my pudding is nice and mixed, like you can see it here, I'm gonna do something that I think makes assembling the pudding even more fun, which is putting it into a plastic bag. So this is just a regular Ziploc bag that I'm gonna turn out, and I'm gonna scoop my pudding right into that bag. But if you don't have a bag like this, no worries. You can just use a regular spoon. But for our little kids out there, this is a really fun way to do it, and for whoever is helping with the pudding at home, it really helps with the mess too. So, scooping a bunch of my pudding into the bag, and once we assemble our puddings, we're gonna wanna keep them in the fridge for a few hours. That's gonna help them set up and get extra cold and creamy. So now I have my pudding in the bag. Doesn't that look kind of funny? It's gonna be really fun to squeeze. So I'll put this to the side. And I'm gonna snip a little bit off of the tip of our pudding bag. And right now I'm gonna grab the little ramekin dish that I'm gonna use to assemble my pudding. You could use any sort of small dish, or you could even get a giant bowl like our Boars had, and you could make one big giant pudding for everyone. So I'm gonna snip, snip, snip. There we go, it's starting to come out. So I like to just squeeze a little bit into the bottom there. All right, so that's our pudding base. Now I need to grab one of our delicious bananas. And even though this is a banana pudding, what are some other fruits that you think would taste yummy in this recipe? There's lots of different things I think we could use. I wonder what the Boars would like. I bet they would like it if we used strawberries or blueberries or even mango. I bet would be really delicious. Today we'll stick with the bananas because we know we love bananas. So I have it all cut up into small pieces, and now I'm gonna create some layers. So I like to place my banana pieces all over the top of my pudding. Yum, yum, yum. Nice and creamy. Just make it look pretty like that. And now let's go back to my wafers. So I do the same thing. I put a little wafer over every little piece of banana. Delicious. These are just gonna create like a nice cake layer, just like that, guys. Okay, so let's go back to our pudding. Squeeze a little bit more on top like that. Yum. Do another layer of banana. Love bananas. All right. And another layer of our wafers. So, super important after we assemble our puddings to put the pudding in the fridge for at least a couple of hours, because the pudding is gonna soften some of our wafer cookies here, and that's what's gonna make it a really delicious, creamy pudding. We're just adding a few more cookies, and now let's do our final layer of the banana pudding. So this is so fun. Squeezing it out of the tube, it feels nice and cool on my hands, which will be good for a day like today. And then I just like to take a few cookies and maybe place them on top so it looks nice and pretty, right? Beautiful. What do you think? How would the Boars like this pudding here? How would you like this pudding here? So it's gonna be extra delicious. I'll show you a few other ones that I made earlier too. I made them in these nice little jars. Another very big portion for one person, or I could make it even something a little bit bigger for a bunch of people to enjoy. Isn't that nice? Beautiful. So let's go ahead and take a taste. And then I'm gonna wanna hear what Andrew thinks about our pudding. Ooh, so I got a little piece of banana, some cookie. I want to give a huge thanks to Andrew from the Seward Park Library for joining us today. We're going to do another snack and story time on Tuesday, September 15th at 10 a.m., same time. We're going to be reading Growing Vegetable Soup. and I'm gonna be making a really yummy cornbread recipe that we could enjoy alongside some soup. So be sure to visit essexmarket.nyc and you can register for that event as well. So Andrew, let's say goodbye to everyone and thank them for coming.
Goodbye everyone, nice to see you all.
Bye, thank you.